Welcome to the National Conference of Catholic Bishops. I'm Miguel Guilarte with the Office of Public Affairs. I am here today with Mar Muñoz-Visoso, Executive Director of the Diversity Cultural in the Church, and with Alejandro Aguilera-Titus, National Coordinator of the Fifth Encuentro. They are here today to talk about the organization and the Fifth Encuentro that is going to gather many delegates, bishops, youth, Catholics from across the United States this September in Texas. Welcome. Please, Alejandro, if you can start talking about the history of the 4 encuentros that we had before this fifth that we are organizing now.
I'll be happy to talk about that, Miguel. Well, the Encuentro process is a process of pastoral discernment that the bishops have chosen to use to develop the vision and the mission for Hispanic ministry for over 60 years. The first Encuentro takes place in 1972 when the Hispanic population is emerging, especially new immigrants coming from Mexico and other places. And it marks a special time because it is the first time that Hispanics come out of the anonymity within the context of the church. So it's a growing population, and the bishops recognize that presence. In 1977, we have the second Encuentro. And what happened there was that population, which included Mexicans and Mexican Americans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans and Dominicans and people literally from all over Latin America, got into a conversation in which they identify themselves as a unique people, as Hispanic Catholics in the United States, not only from specific countries of origin, but as a new people in the United States. And it is during the second Encuentro that one of the fruits is pretty much the identity of these new people as the Hispanic people is people of God on the move, which is one of the themes of the Second Vatican Council, as well. In 1985, we have the celebration of the third Encuentro. And the third Encuentro is very key because the bishops specifically asked the Hispanic Latino presence, people, to raise their prophetic voices once more, as they did in the first and second Encuentro, so that the bishops, along with all the leaders in the church, could develop a national pastoral plan for Hispanic ministry that will respond more effectively to that emerging presence. And so in 1987, as a fruit of the third Encuentro, the National Pastoral Plan for Hispanic Ministry is promulgated. And with that plan, a clear vision and mission for Hispanic ministry is offered to the entire nation. And that changes the game in terms of how parishes and dioceses respond to that Hispanic presence. The fourth Encuentro became Encuentro 2000. It took place in the year 2000. And it was, in many ways, a gift from the Hispanic presence to the church in the United States. The bishops organizing the Encuentro and the leadership within Hispanic ministry said, why don't we invite, all Catholics to participate in this Encuentro experience with us? And that became actually the celebration of the Jubilee year, the national celebration for the Jubilee year in the United States. And the vision, the theme for that Encuentro was many faces in God's house. And one of the major questions that the bishops are asking at that time is, what kind of leadership are Hispanic Latino Catholics going to provide to the church and to the United States as they continue to grow in numbers? The fifth Encuentro the decision is made by the bishops and the leadership in Hispanic ministry to convene the fifth Encuentro in the year 2013. Just around the time in which Pope Francis is elected. So, and since then, the bishops and the leadership within Hispanic ministry began preparations for the fifth Encuentro, which is really a 4-year process, One thing that is important to mention is that the Encuentro process is a process. It's not just an event. As it was with the previous Encuentros, this fifth Encuentro is a 4-year process. And the theme is missionary disciples, witnesses of God's love. The theme is inspired by Pope Francis' apostolic exhortation, the joy of the gospel, in which the Holy Father calls everybody in the church to be missionary disciples and to go and encounter our brothers and sisters that live in the periphery. And that is very much what anchors and provides the vision for the fifth Encuentro.
So Alejandro is the coordinator of the National Encuentro, but also there is a team that has been working to put this together. Can you talk about all those people and organizations from across the United States that has been working to organize the Encuentro?
Sure. So in order for the bishops to convene these, before they do that, before they take that extraordinary step of convening a new Encuentro, they consult with all the national organizations that are currently doing ministry with Hispanics. Some of them were born out of the third Encuentro, to organize ministry in different ways. And some of them are new organizations that might not be specifically Hispanic per se, but do work with Hispanics and are interested in working more so with Hispanics. So there was about between 15, 17 organizations that were consulted in this initial conversation, and they all said, yes, absolutely, we're ready, and we see the need for a new Encuentro. It's a new time, it's new needs, and new circumstances, and we need to respond to the needs of the times. From that time where the Encuentro is convened, then others hear the call and join, to the point that today what we call the Equipo Nacional de Acompañamiento, the national accompanying team for the fifth Encuentro, we have more than 47 organizations involved, because everybody has an interest in entering into this dialogue and sitting at the table with the Latino Catholic community in the United States. So that's how the team comes together, and they represent a wide variety of professional and ministerial areas, but also their own vision that they have for all the different aspects: vocations, priests, sisters, catechesis and evangelization, marriage and family life, organizations of Latino leaders, etc. So they represent a wide variety, and that's how we know that everybody is around the table, because everybody wants to have participation in the preparation. And this team has had a very important role. The Encuentro really begins officially in 2017, but there has been a process of several years, as you mentioned, that it was convened in 2013. There has been a process of several years of discernment of what is this going to look like, of preparation of the theological framework, of preparation of the strategies, of convening of who are we going to call, how we're going to do this, what is the strategy, how we're going to implement this, preparing the materials. And this entire group of people with all these organizations working together with the bishop have had this very important role of accompanying the entire process and continue to accompany now that the process is actually taking place.